Hail, noble Tarnished! Today's Elden Ring video is brought to you by our allies at Into the AM, the finest tailors and purveyors of the freshest attire for your journeys through the lands between. Now, listen close and take heed to the message I have to give you, for it shall grant you a great boon. Ensure that you quickly alight upon your noble steed Torrent and gallop your way over to intotheam.com/the ASMR nerd, or use thine secret code, the ASMR nerd, at checkout to save thyself 1 in 10 runes on thy purchase. That is correct. 10% will be saved by you if you use that link or you use that code when you purchase at Into the AM. Into the AM has all kinds of beautiful and wondrous goods that will make sure that you look good on your adventures. Goods such as their graphic tees, like this one right here, which actually has an aesthetic that looks a bit like one of the places we're going to be visiting in today's Elden Ring video. Or this graphic tee, which has upon it a beast which appears to be similar to an enemy that one might encounter in the lands between. Or this tee, which doesn't really have anything specific to do with the lands between or Elden Ring per se, but just looks really cool. And it is not just graphic tees which Into the AM can supply you with. Nay, they have all kinds of comfortable, beautiful, and easy to care for apparel to equip you for any situation in which you might find yourself. For example, hoodies to keep you warm in the dark nights of the lands between, or joggers for when you're running very quickly away from enemies in the lands between, or underwear so that you can replace yours after you're done running very quickly from the enemies in the lands between. You get what I'm saying here. Make sure that you visit Into the AM/the ASMR nerd and check out all the awesome designs and very, very comfortable apparel that Into the AM has for you. And do not forget to use that link or use that secret code, the ASMR nerd, at checkout to save thyself 1 in 10 runes so that you might put them towards leveling up your stats, because how else are you going to get good? This way you will look amazing and you will be able to take down those bosses. Big shout out to Into the AM, our great allies, for sponsoring today's video. Hello, my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and welcome back to the lands between in Elden Ring. Today we're going to take another relaxing stroll through this beautiful landscape. We begin our wander here at the Third Church of America, which is situated on the fringe of the Mistwood in eastern Limgrave. This beautiful statue is the great Queen Miraca herself, of course. And look how we look up, and we can see the golden light of the blessed Erd tree spilling through the ruined windows of this church. Now, if you are familiar with the lands between, you might be expecting some hostile encounters in this video, but you will encounter no such unrelaxing things here. we will not be fighting any enemies. They've all been dealt with already. So we're going to be having a nice, soothing wander through the Mistwood and then down to one of what I think is the most gorgeous places in all the lands between. The Siofra River. It's quite stunning. If you've never been there or seen it before, you'll see what I mean. But before that, let's head over to these sandy shores. It's a very soothing little patch of shoreline here, actually, with beautiful views along coastal cliffs in the distance. The crabs here may look large, but I assure you, they get much larger elsewhere. And these ones won't be bothering us. The sand makes little puffs underfoot. Look at those mighty, towering cliffs in the distance. The light of the Erd tree piercing the clouds, shafting down, creating dramatic rays of light. Out there, on that southeasterly point, you can see the edifice of Fort Height, which belongs to a noble of these lands. Although we won't be going there today. The water looks cool and refreshing. And further out to sea, the great waves roll in. Up ahead is a minor Erd tree. And where we're headed, you can just glimpse it there actually, at the base of the minor Erd tree. But we'll spend some time in the Mistwood first, because it's a very pretty place. And it's quite aptly named. Listen to the little pitter-patter, did you hear that, of the feet of the crab back there? Some lovely flowers here, swaying in the breeze. The Mistwood always seems to be cloaked in a heavy veil of fog, swirling through the trees on the light wind. It makes for picturesque layers of the forest fading into the distance. And here we have a ghostly candelabra, a remnant of a spirit who once stood at this spot, who leads travelers to treasure. That spirit has been put to rest. But the candelabra is beautiful. Look at all the little fire moths flitting about by the candles. Very tiny ones. The wind here is persistent but gentle. The Mistwood is inhabited by all manner of creatures, from the benign and the mundane deer, which that you just heard there is a deer, despite the somewhat chilling nature of that piercing cry. It's merely one of the resident deer. There goes one. But there are less benign creatures in the woods here, ranging from giant bears to others as well. Imps by night. But I reckon we won't be running into any of the less pleasant inhabitants today, except for perhaps that one right there. Might be difficult to see through the mist, but there is a massive slumbering rune bear just on the other side of this pond. If we get a little bit closer, let's just sneak a little bit closer. We'll be able to see and hear that fellow right there. Listen to him gurgling. However, we will leave the rune bear to its rest. We have no interest in disturbing it, and really it probably doesn't want to bother itself with us either. It would probably rather continue to nap. Perhaps it fell asleep due to the power of ASMR. We will leave it be. Though there are some very pretty flowers here, aren't there? But where we want to go is over here. This way. I told you we would be traveling to the base of the minor erd tree that we saw earlier, and there it is, just above us. Even a minor erd tree is very large. It towers over the landscape. Here is a solemn monument covered in a strange script. Look at the fine ornamentation up at the top. At the base of this monument was a map for this area, which is now in my possession. And just up ahead, you will see what looks to be an old mausoleum of some kind, festooned with vegetation and all manner of elaborate carvings. And yet, despite its outward appearances, it houses something much more special. This is the Siofra River well. And far below lies one of the most beautiful places in all the lands between. Shall we head down? Are you ready to descend? Isn't it gorgeous? The way all the carvings illuminate. So much detail. I love the way they react to the light as we pass down, 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 ever deeper into the earth. And here is the Siofra River, a vast subterranean network of caverns and ruins. This is what I wanted to share with you today. It's quite stunning. The thought that there is so much beneath the earth. And if you look way, way, way up, you can see what appear to be stars speckled across the night sky. They're not stars, of course, but it's a beautiful illusion. Incredibly detailed tombstones, headstones of all kinds can be found throughout the Siofra River. It appears to depict some kind of story, perhaps panels depicting a variety of characters. It's hard to say who or what or how long ago, but the lost city down here spans massive distances. Some more beautiful carvings on these headstones would look like lions or maybe bears fighting on that middle one, in gorgeous designs of knotwork on the one to the right. Now, once again, one might expect to encounter hostile creatures down here, and I assure you there are many throughout this underground realm. And yet, today, we shall encounter no such beings. Today we can wander unaccosted. The beautiful dew-kissed herba glowing against the darkness. Ruins are just stunning. These massive arched doorways, decorated with beautiful leaves and capitals. someone down here keeps the sconces burning. That might be the claymen. The claymen are a strange race of subterranean dwellers, made of the very clay of the earth in which they live. They are very slow. They move very deliberately. And in fact, the mounds of clay that you see scattered about our feet were in fact once claymen who defended this realm with their lives. Foolishly. There was no need. If I could have, I would have asked them nicely to leave and let us go about our wander. Unfortunately, I don't think they possess the capacity, the mental capacity to understand such a thing as a relaxing wander. So I had to be a bit more forceful about it. But truth be told, they'll be back soon enough. They never seem to stay gone for long. One striking aspect of the Siofra River realm is these massive petrified tree trunks that seem to stretch up to the sky. It makes me wonder what this place looked like in the distant past. Was it a lush underground forest? Petrified tree trunks do seem to suggest so. This would have been a very magical and beautiful realm in its heyday. Its haunting beauty persists even now in ruins. Twin waterfalls cascading down from on high. We will, in fact, travel up to where those waterfalls come from. Just up these stairs. That beautiful window. This gorgeous archway. Such detail. Ah, there is one of the denizens of this realm. Clayman, going about his strange business. All on his lonesome. Once again, no reason to disturb him. And in the distance there you can see glimmerings of glow bugs. Flickering in the darkness like stars in the sky. Ready for another elevator ride. This will be a much shorter one, but no less beautiful. That pulse of light. Oh, gorgeous. And now you can truly see those seeming stars twinkling in the roof of the cavern. You know, this realm, this underground realm of the Siofra River, really reminds me of somewhere else, another subterranean realm that stretched beneath a great, vast kingdom. And that one was called Blackreach, I think. Perhaps you've been there too. Foreboding statues wearing peaked hoods, implacable faces carved in stone holding censers burning with a brilliant silver light, a white fire. Magic, no doubt. The sculptor did a remarkable job capturing the fabric, the way it falls and flows down, every little detail. This statue did not stand the ravages of time, and its magical flame has been extinguished. It lies on the ground, unlit. This one remains intact. And this one apparently intact and yet unlit. What could have extinguished it? I think if we look from here, we can actually get a glimpse back down to where we were. Indeed we can. You can see, well, not see, but you can understand here how the waterfalls that are flowing beneath us flow down that slope, all the way down right to where we entered this realm. The water we put our feet in when we first got to the bottom of that great lift. That is the water that flows below us now. And despite the lack of any natural light down here, we still find vegetation, trees, grass, herbs, and mushrooms, although mushrooms are different yet again, of course. But all manner of plant life growing in the shallows of this gently flowing river. It flows right down there and out in those waterfalls. And we find once again the petrified trees, remnants of the vast forest that once was. The water here is cool and clear. Gently cascading down this slope in a thin sheet that reflects all the stars above. Look at them twinkle in the water. And the way this subterranean starlight just catches the edges of things just highlights them in a silvery glow. It's striking. Oh, you hear that? We heard that earlier out in the Mistwood. That would be the deer that can also be found down here. Yes, just like the world above. The Siofra River realm is inhabited by all manner of creatures, including deer. More vast, petrified trees, reaching for the speckled ceiling of the cavern far, far above, right alongside these massive columns of the lost city that once stood here. Now nothing but ruins, but incredible ruins. Speak volumes about those who must have made them. And these ruins hold secrets yet. Lost though the city may be, it is not entirely abandoned. However, I do believe that this is where we will end off our wander for today. We got to see a great deal. The Third Church of America, a beautiful sandy coastline, the Mistwood and some of its denizens, the beautiful descent through the Siofra River well down into the Siofra River realm, where we are now, and then the massive, evocative ruins of the great city that once was here. One can only help but wonder what it would have looked like in its prime. These massive trees were full of life. The city bustled with whomever built it. But these ruins hold their own charm, certainly their own forlorn beauty. I do hope that you enjoyed this wander here today in the lands between. It can be a savage place, but it can also be a place of surpassing beauty and tranquility. I appreciate you very much joining me for this wander, and I look very forward to having you back here next time. Farewell for now, my friend.